What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and Pander Month is in full swing. A month sure to give us loads and loads of hilarity to enjoy together. I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you are, remember to click that thumbs up button, and I'll keep bringing you all the hilarious goofs and gaffes, and I hope you enjoy it. I know video game news in and of itself is a little slow this past few weeks, but we've got E3 coming up, so I think that there's going to be a lot more gaming news. So I do appreciate you sticking around for the more adjacent videos. Now, David Jaffe is a designer and director on some of the best franchises in video game history, I think. I mean, as a huge fan of Twisted Metal, obviously, the God of War series won many awards. But he is also a professional panderer. I'm surprised he hasn't, of course, changed his avatar to the rainbow, some version of that, because I think this meme, if I can chop it up and use it as a thumbnail appropriately, I'm absolutely going to. It, of course, says, what inspired you to change your logo to the rainbow flag? Money. And I think this is, the second year now I've been kind of covering the video games industry and pop culture during this month, and it often gets used against me. And the fact that as some sort of weird, I'm a bad person. I will state again, as I always do, I have no problem with what people do with their lives as long as they're happy. Love is love. Just keep it legal, and we are good. All right, so I couldn't be more open-minded about people's relationships, orientations, whatever they choose to do, okay? So we're all clear on that, all right? But I do find it hilarious, the pandering. And I live in a smaller town, and I don't interact with a lot of gay couples, but I do have several that are friends, and they think this kind of stuff is hilarious too. We talk about it. I talk about the pandering with them, and I think most people don't want to be used in this manner. You know, it's clear that it's about money. I think when you can do it in a right way where you raise money and you donate 100% of it to charity, and you can do it in a wrong way where you just talk about it for likes and retweets. And I think that's the funny stuff, is when companies try to do it for woke points, and we have fun at that. So David Jaffe tweeted out yesterday. Oh, actually, I want to start out by this. This is a man that is outraged by baiting, right? This is the practice of, doing exactly what he's doing. He's saying, hey, Bishop, I read your tweet while waiting on a friend of mine who is transitioning from a woman to a man. I'm in a waiting room of therapy office that specializes in helping people feel great about who they are. So, he is a king virtue signaler. It's of course great. He likes to wants everyone to know that he's woke. So yesterday, he tweets out, and before you get upset, I know that he's walked this back, but I think he meant it, and I think he got a little blowback, and now he's trying to it was just a prank, bro. You be the judge, okay? Oh, and one more thing, not to get all JK rolling, but when I was working on the origins of Kratos for the first games, I knew he was raging bi until he settled down with his wife. So Kratos is officially bi, and the Oracle from the first game, lesbian. Whoa, what's it? Every time I say that word now, I think of what's his name? Oh my God, what is his name? Lesbians. What is his name? Beta. Jesse Lee Peterson. That guy's a living meme. Anyway, okay, great. Of course, gamers. Wow, they made Kratos. So like right now, everyone's embracing it as though it were real. Literally anyone that knows anything about ancient Greeks. Yes, okay, we know that ancient Greeks were pretty open about this sort of thing. Totally cool, by the way. Not that I care what my fictional video game character is doing in a fictional world outside of a fictional video game, but some people do. Now, of course, David got a little bit of blowback. So he accepted all these great comments, but then he started getting some blowback. And we see Sadly, that tweet was a lie, designed to take the pee out of haters who are hating on Pride image of Kratos. I honestly never assumed Kratos was anything but straight, but forget it. If he was bi all along and we were just learning that now, cool, works for me. Oh, okay. Well, it seems like a little bit of a walk back, but David Jaffe is of course woke, and this is just an example of, I talked about it earlier. If Pride Month wasn't such a moneymaker for companies, one wonders if it would be relegated to a single day like those totally unprofitable holidays like the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day. You see, of course, David Jaffe now getting completely roasted and backing it up, of course, saying, oh, let me be clear, because y'all are clearly too dumb to understand you are being trolled. Usually, you don't have to tell people they're being trolled. One, Kratos is not gay or bi, as far as I wrote him. Two, I posted that because I was upset that people were upset by the great image someone made. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And even if you are telling the truth, this is the hilarity of the backlash of pandering. I wasn't queer baiting. How utterly ridiculous. Anyone who follows my social media knows I'm a strong ally of the LGBT community, and I would honestly have zero problem if Kratos were bi. But as I write him, he's not. Well, why don't you just make him that way, David? I mean, J.K. Rowling does it. So you want all of the credit and adulation? This is the what is it? The white savior complex? Is that the right word of it? I think that community is doing, for the most part, just fine. Obviously, there's always room for improvement. They're doing just fine in the West. If we want to go to the middle part of the world a little bit, obviously there we've got more issues, but these people don't really care about that. They just want likes and retweets. They don't care if people are getting tossed off roofs. They just care about likes and retweets, right? He goes on to say, within 5 minutes, I tweeted out that I was just joking and I was just doing it to take the pee out of phobes. So people are offended. I would do this because they think it's baiting. Please F off. I would not do that. And F you for ever thinking I would. Methinks thou doth protest too much, Mr. Jaffe. Please allow me to say that. This one last thing. Yeah, he's totally not backtracking, as he's put out numerous tweets. All right. I can 100% respect these folks may feel baited. Ha! So obviously he knows he did. Oh, he sounds so guilty, boys and girls, and everything in between. Appreciate you all, viewers. I can imagine they have been waiting a long time to see heroic and long overdue representation in games. It was never my intent to suggest that sort of representation needs to be a joke. Backfire. I think that's beyond me. It was time back in the Pong days. So if you were offended by that part of my joke, I'm sorry. Yes, apologizing for jokes, a truly far left belief. They believe you should apologize for jokes, and they also apologize for jokes. I think if you're going to make a joke, you own it. Apologizing for it makes you look like a chump. But then, of course, he has to apologize to the straight folks, too. The community, the gay bi community, would feel upset about being told a successful game character that was that way had been taken away. Never occurred to me that they should feel that way. It was pointed out to me, and I apologize for that. The biz should have more characters. So eventually he gets blowback. Basically, they're saying, look, you're retconning a character to pander, and then you're undoing it. And if we were to retcon a character that is gay and made them straight, that would also be a problem. Yes, that is a problem, David. Write it organically. You are behind some of the best game franchises in history. You think you would understand how to organically create characters. And the thing is, here's the thing about this pandering. I really do believe that Jaffe knows how to write characters, okay? But he just wants to pander. He just wants the woke points. He just wants the retweets. And for a guy, to be honest with you, with a guy with 46,000 followers, he gets remarkably little interaction on his social justice posts. Why do you think that is? This is the same thing with, who's the guy that did Spider-Man too? What the heck is his name? I can't think of him. He's got a bunch of followers too. I can't think of it right now. These dudes get big on social media because of the video games that they make or the comics they write, or they don't get big for their political opinions. That's why you see these huge accounts with 50, 100,000 followers getting like 10 likes on their tweets. People follow Jaffe because of his video game series, God of War and Twisted Metal, and that's why they follow him. They follow him to hear him talk about that. I'm not saying he's not allowed to talk about other things, but look at this engagement. This tweet is 48 hours old and it has 42 likes. 42. And he has 46,000 followers. Do you think people are following him for his virtue signaling posts, or do you think they want to hear about his new video games? But these people get a big pulpit and they think people care about their opinions on social issues, so that's all they talk about. Nope. We don't. We care about your video games. I'm sorry. Maybe a small percentage of your followers do, but they're also just using you. They want you to tweet this stuff out. They want you to virtue signal because that's what Twitter's all about. But I love to catalog when virtue signaling goes wrong. And I hope you enjoyed this slow motion car wreck. We'll talk to you again real soon.